I was born in a lukewarm Christian home. My mother was a Christian by name, but had probably never read the Bible in her entire life. I don't think she still has now. My dad was spiritual, but his pride, for lack of a better word, stopped him from really praying hard, from what I've seen, at least. He's a very smart man, but he didn't want to lean in to religion, I suppose. He's read the Bible, he's read the Quran, he's read some Hindu stuff in the same way that I have, and so that he keeps it at arm's length, but he doesn't really dive into it like me. Anyways, I just want to say there was a complete lack of God in my life, right? We went to church mostly every Sunday. I went to church for the Sunday school, and we played fun games downstairs. And so they had this big old playroom, right there. I had friends there. I was like 7. I didn't care about God, right? I got baptized. Um, I got baptized at like 7 again, and I mostly just did it because it's an event, and we all went camping, and one of my friends was getting baptized, and it just seemed like fun. I didn't understand the implications. I didn't care, right? Religion was just a social thing for me. COVID had messed me up completely. Like I was probably 12 or so when COVID hit, 12, 13, 14, around that age when COVID hit, and it had completely messed me up. I was socially stunted. I had nosedived into a complete addiction to technology, to video games, porn, greasy food. I was angry all the time. I would scream at my mother and my father for stupid things. I was petty, irrational, general teenager stuff with some added vices for today's generation from technology. I was completely and utterly depressed. I hated my life. Completely, I hated living. I was so angry all the time. And of course, from COVID, from a lack of trying to learn, from being a rebellious little teenager, I became atheist. Right? I never really cared for religion. My parents didn't really care that much that I became atheist. They probably just thought it's a phase, right? But I scoffed at religion and I thought it was completely unintellectual. The irony being that I was literally like the stupidest person ever. So, anyways, I'm in like this like LGBTQ community, like this music community, right? And with the help of a pagan online friend, I get interested in spiritualism and astral projection. You don't know what astral projection is, it's basically like you meditate really deeply, and then your spirit is supposed to move out of your body, right? And I got interested in it because of these files that the CIA made trying to research it, right? And they got released. And this dude telling me that like all these stories about it, and these stories were so scary, right? Like whether or not they were real, the trauma this dude had from astral projection was like he's probably making it all up in hindsight now, but like it was scary. It was just scary. But I still went on and started doing it because I was so curious. I was so curious, and I started doing it, and it completely freaked me out. Right? Like imagine living your entire life as an atheist, and then you try the spiritual thing, and you realize that there's something non-material out there. Right? There's something that like you can't see out there that's still affecting you. And I started having really bad sleep paralysis. Like creatures would touch me and stuff like that. I'd have 1,000 whispers in my ear. It would feel like my soul was being sucked out of my stomach, for lack of a better word. Right? I would have horrible nightmares, or I would die over and over and over and over and over and over again. I had really bad paranoid. I was really badly paranoid. I had really bad anxiety. I had intrusive suicidal thoughts, and I was asking this guy. I was like, "Please help me! Like I feel so horrified right now." And he tells me to go put crystals in the corner of my room and pray to Athena, this pagan god, right? And pray for protection and ask for protection and do these pagan rituals and stuff like that. And I tried doing all of that, and of course, none of it worked, right? Like, obviously, none of it worked. I couldn't still go to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep with the lights off. And nothing helped but praying to Jesus, asking Jesus for help. And over time, every single time I did that, it would go away, right? And over time, it stopped happening as much, and like it has slowly gone away this period of my life. Even though that Jesus Christ had protected me and calling on His name had protected me, right? I still didn't necessarily believe in it at all. It's like the meme where the atheist is praying when the plane is crashing. When I was being assaulted by these spiritual forces, yes, I definitely believed it. But afterwards, in daylight, I would chalk it up to spiritual delusion. I would chalk it up to this isn't real. And, anyways, of course, praying to Christ piqued my interest, right? And I started reading the Bible as an atheist Christian. I didn't believe in the inerrancy, miracles, or really anything of that nature, right? I thought religion was a tool to control people. And I just read it because I thought Jesus was a really cool guy, right? And like the things that he said were amazing and beautiful. And of course, you read the Bible and you read Matthew and you read the Gospels, and it completely changes your outlook on life. Like whether or not, whatever you are, if you're an atheist, if you're a Christian, Muslim, Hindu, whatever you are, right? It completely changes how you perceive the world and the choices that you make in your life. And it had started having massive impacts on me, combined with its own miracle of me getting banned off my addictive game of choice. I started actually trying to improve my life, partially because of the Bible. I read it like a self-help book. I picked up sentences that I liked and words that I liked, and I quoted them and I put them into a little Discord channel where I could read them later. And I didn't believe in any of the miracles, sure, but like what Jesus said about being humble and being kind to others and loving others and trying to be a source of positive impact on the world. Yes, I love that, right? And it wasn't like someday like I clicked in my head and I said, yes, all these miracles are real, right? It was very, very slow. It was like a snowball. It was a buildup of, I would watch Christian YouTube channels. I would watch atheist YouTube channels. I would read, spiritual books. I read something called The Road Less Traveled by Scott Peck. Amazing book. Second best book ever, behind the Bible, of course. I just started thinking about all this stuff, and I started listening to Christian apologetics, and I started weighing the logic for myself of whether or not an atheistic or theistic worldview exists, right? And of course, if a theistic worldview is true, then which religion is the right one? And ultimately, this is my explanation, not because I'm not going to get into a bajillion apologetics about why Islam or why Hinduism or why Judaism is false or whatever, right? The core reason, really, is that every other religion is about man reaching God, right? Don't sin enough and you'll reach God. And of course, it's kind of like that in Christianity, but it's different in the sense that God loved us so much that he gave his only son, that he, instead of us trying to bridge that gap, that impossible gap, because you and I have done wrong today and we will do wrong for the rest of our lives, instead of us trying to bridge that gap, it's God, and he brought his son down so he could bridge that gap for us. So he could say, yes, I'll do 90% of the work. All you have to do is believe in me. All you have to do is call on my name, and I will impact you in your life. I will change your life. All you have to do is call on me because I love you so much. What is more beautiful? What is more perfect than sacrificing your life for another? Right? What is more morally beautiful? And here you see that Jesus Christ has sacrificed his life for all of us. That he took the sins and the judgment that we were supposed to endure, that we were supposed to be punished for, the righteous judgment that we were supposed to take, and he says, I'll give you a free pass. Because I love you so much, I'm willing to look past all your problems. All the things that you can never fix because you're a broken person. That's how much I love you. That you make these bad choices every single day, but I look at you and I still love you. It's not just about man's toil of being unable to reach God. It's that God comes down and he says, yeah, I'll help you out. I'll help you with your sins. Right? I'll help you be with me for the rest of your life if you just call on my name and ask me. God takes 10 steps when you take one, right? God gives you grace when you don't deserve it. And this love is like nothing else in the entire world. No amount of drugs, sex, money, anything like that. Nothing like that can ever compare to Christ. Because it is imperishable, right? Your high wears off. You have an orgasm and it wears off. You'll lose your money eventually, right? But this spiritual high of believing in Christ, that's what never wears off. And it will heal everything in your life. It'll heal your depression. It'll heal your anger. It'll heal everything that you have in your life if you just believe in him. That's all he asks. All he asks is just love me as I have loved you. Trust in me as I love you, as I trust you. And that's it. That's all it is. And of course, like, I'm not telling you right now, oh, Christ died for me. I'm just going to go sin and do whatever I want, right? Because that's not what it means to love Christ. Christ says, I think John 15:4 or 14:5, something like that. If you love me, follow my commandments. That's what he says. And it's completely true. Like, if you love Christ, you'll hate sin, right? You don't have one foot in the door, right? You're either all in, you're all out. And you either hate sin and love Christ, or love sin and hate Christ. So what will you choose? Like, seriously, like, you listening to this right now, what will you choose? What will you believe in? Right? What will you put your faith in? Because everyone is a slave to something. If you're not a slave to God, what are you a slave to? You're a slave to your own vices. You're a slave to whatever you think brings you enjoyment in your life. But there is only one thing that can bring true, non-transient, imperishable, infinite enjoyment, infinite calmness, infinite tranquility, the realest definition of love, right? More than you could ever experience in any single relationship, no matter how much you love your wife, no matter how much you love your husband. It's so much more than that, because it's love from a creator, love from a perfect being, and it is free for you right now. It is completely free for you right now if you just call on his name. Jesus Christ, I pray for everyone listening to this video today. I pray that they receive your word. I pray that they are touched. I pray that their hearts become soft for you, Lord. I pray that they see who you are, and I pray that you come into their life. I pray that you give them salvation. I pray that you give them mercy. I pray that you give them love, the things that they've been looking for their whole lives, that you can give them, Lord.